Hi guys, it's Jamonia James with message of the day, and today we have a unique one. It's Wednesday, so we're talking about Wednesday wisdom, something to enrich your life and to keep you moving. Now today I have a special guest with me, my brother Rodrick. Rodrick is an interesting person, as you shall hear in a moment. Today we are shuffling the entire spectrum of personality, identity, characteristics, individuality, who you are, and under the big ladder of who are you? What makes you you? Now, typically when a person asks anyone, who are you? What comes to mind is your name, right? You hear names. But today we're gonna go deeper than just names that were given by birth to what truly are you? What defines your identity? And today I have my brother here to help me with that. So Rodrick, take it off.
Okay. So before we first touch the topic of what defines identity, we have to understand what identity is in the first place.
That's right.
And I'm just going to read the definition of identity here. It says identity is basically the way you think, the way you are viewed by the world, the characteristics that define you. And according to this definition, identity is basically character and personality. Now the flaw with that definition is that if character changes, if you change your personality or character, does that mean you are still you? What really makes you you?
That's a good question, because I can change my character, my personality can change over time, but I'm still me, right? So what makes me? That's the question that we're delving into. What is your identity? So could you shed more light on that then?
So, like most of the people, the first thing that would come to mind if you asked a person what makes you you, or what makes you unique, in other words,
right,
would be your physical looks. All right. All right. People are different, or would be DNA, maybe fingerprint.
Oh yeah.
That all makes you you. But then the question comes when you say that. The question that comes is, if those things weren't there, if someone, let's say, took your fingerprint off, would you still be you? If you say the way your legs are, the way you basically run, or whatever you do makes you you, if those things weren't there, would you still be you?
That's a very good question, and it goes back to like a philosophical thought experiment that was conducted, or that you can conduct. So if you take a person and you remove every body organ that they have, let's say you start with the leg, arm, if you remove all these parts, do they still remain who they are? And the question is, yes, they are who they are. Even without the leg, they still have that identity and that personhood and humanhood. And that's the thing that we are talking about. This identity that we are trying to reach and to explain is not just identity as in how the world views us, like you read in the definition. So they give us social security numbers, they give us this and that, but that's not who we truly are. That's just the perception of who we are, but not the real essence of who we are. And by the end of this talk, Wisdom Wednesday, I hope that you're going to really fully grasp the meaning and the definition of identity. So we're just going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back answering the question. What are we talking next, Rodrick?
We'll be talking about what defines your identity.
All right, we're on, and we'll continue the conversation. What defines your identity? Now, we do have a promo coming up, a series coming up, where we're going to be talking about deep subjects like personality, identity, and character. And specifically these three themes, and I hope you guys stay tuned for that. All right, Rodrick, take it away.
As James was saying before we had a break, if someone took your legs off, you'd still be you.
Right.
There are people who are crippled, and they're still themselves. They're still who they were before they were crippled.
Right.
But then, if someone tells you that they'll remove your brain, would you still be you?
Obviously not, because then you'd be dead, right?
Because, like, I ask myself, people say that the heart is the most important organ in your body, but anyone can do heart transplants, right?
But nobody ever does brain transplant.
So there's something very special about your brain.
Wow.
And when we really dig deep into this subject, we get to find out that what you think, your character, your personality, they all are an expression of something deeper in your brain. Right?
That's really true.
So our character and personality express our answers to 3 of the most important questions in life, right? And those questions are: who am I? Why am I here? And where do I come from? And what happens after I die? They actually 4. Those 4 questions are the most important questions in life. And the way you answer them, or the way you
interact with them.
Those 4 questions are the most important questions in life. And your character, your personality, your behavior, basically,
it's just an answer to these questions.
Expresses your answer to that question, all right? To those questions.
Yeah, this is very deep, Rodrick, and I must say that, as I told you earlier, guys, I have a special series coming up where I'll be dealing specifically with these 4 questions, the 4 fundamental questions in life. And as he said, really, your personality, character is just the way you express the answers to these questions.
All right, now people express these answers. People answer these questions differently.
Right.
And that's why you have different personalities in the world.
Wow.
All right, so, and for the most part, all right, in our world today, religion, all right, or the way we perceive the world affects our answers to these questions.
Right.
All right, to the most level.
Right.
So, for example, on the religion part, all right, if you are a Christian, you have a different perception of who you are, basically.
Exactly.
You have a different perception of where you come from and why you are here.
And what happens when you die.
Exactly. And those different answers to these questions
affect your personality, character.
Exactly. And your behavior and your identity. So, ask yourself these questions. Who are you? All right. Why are you here? And where do I come from? All right. So we've just covered. Before we cover who are you, let's go to the second question. Why am I here? All right. Why? I think why is the most. It's like,
why is the deepest question ever?
Why?
Because it asks. Yeah. It alludes to, or it speaks to, purpose.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing that we should speak about today, that purpose actually defines identity.
Yeah, you just got it. Every religion in the world answers these basic questions.
In fact, I would suggest that the reason why religion has been invented is to answer these questions.
Exactly. So we won't be defining each question today, but what I want to touch on is, why am I here? All right.
The purpose, right?
Why is the deepest question that's, I guess, in the whole English language.
Yeah.
Because among these 4 questions, one of them is the most important, I think, at least I think. And it's, why am I here? All right. Purpose defines your identity. Right? Why you are doing something will define how you do it. Will define everything about how you're going to do it. So,
why is like the voltage, the motive that drives you. Right?
That drives you to do that, all right? And why is also more than voltage. More than motive. Because motive, for example, if you had... I'll give you an example. A washing machine.
Right.
All right? Let's use the analogy of a washing machine, a basic system, a basic machine. Right? So, it has a purpose. There's a reason why it was created, right? To help people, to help wash clothes.
Right, basically.
That's the purpose. And that purpose will define its characteristics, basically. So if you know that this thing will have to clean clothes, it's basically going to need water. Right? It's going to have some kind of way. It uses that water and manipulates it to actually use them to wash the clothes.
Now, how can we apply that analogy to a person?
We are all here for a reason, right? And if you can't answer these 4 questions, you need to basically rethink everything about your life. Right? So, why are you here? Right? You need to know the purpose of your life, because if you don't have a purpose, if you can't answer these 4 basic questions, you are basically like a car that's free falling down a steep hill, and one day you meet a rock. And one day you meet a rock and basically crash.
Wow.
And everything will break apart. So
I call that identity crisis.
Exactly.
It's something that many people, including myself, do suffer with sometimes. Yeah.
So you need to answer these basic questions, and the need to answer these 4 basic questions is what drives people to go to different religion. Right? Searching for truth. They're trying to find out, why am I here? Right? Who am I? Where do I come from, and what happens after I die? Now, the 4th question, what happens after I die, doesn't sound that important, right?
Yeah, because you're dead.
You're dead. But then, don't you ever think, what if you knew the day you were gonna die? Do you think that your life would be different? Your life will be definitely different.
I was speaking, was it yesterday, the other day, that death is my greatest motivation.
Exactly. So, if you don't know what happens after you die, death is more like a countdown, right?
Of course, yes, it surely is.
And if you know that you have limited time, you make sure you use that time
exactly
well,
wisely.
Wisely. So, my main emphasis is that answering the way you answer these 4 basic questions, these 4 most important questions in your life, will basically help, or
it will steer your personality, your identity, and everything else.
So, thank you for listening, guys. We're talking about who you are, and we've just found out that there are 4 basic questions in life: who you are, where you come from, what happens after you die, and what's the last one?
What happens when you die, and why am I here?
Yeah.
I hope you guys stay tuned for this amazing episode that's coming out, where I'll be dealing with personality, character, and identity in a real short video, and just to ask and evoke thought. Alright, now see you guys tomorrow for Thursday Thought.